Roar!
Hello and welcome back to another Pony&Wolf Productions video. My name is visualbrony and today we are reading Living Room Full of Salt by SoulstringsReburn. A living room full of salt. Me having heart disease, that would certainly not be good for me because, oh my word, I actually have to really watch how much salt I put into my food these days. And back in the day, when I was much younger, I put a lot of salt onto my food. Yeah, and my father always warned me, saying, hey, you should maybe cut back on the salt, you'll get heart problems, and now look at me. Anyhow, he also said I should stop smoking. Yeah, which I also did. So, maybe I should have listened to my dad there. Anyhow, here's an amazing list of those amazing people who keep this amazing channel alive with their amazing donations every month to keep us eating, because their donations are our food budget for every month. And now let's get into the meat of the story, because I know I am annoying you a fair deal by now. Why is there so much salt? The sun rose from the horizon, the birds were chirping, and it was a beautiful day in Ponyville. It was a peaceful morning as the sun's rays flooded through Twilight's window, promptly waking her up. She yawned and went downstairs, thinking that Spike had made breakfast. She forgot, however, that she promised the young Drake a day off. Also, unfortunately for Twilight, she ran into a different problem very quickly. Everything was covered in salt. The purple book horse was taken aback, looking upon the central library, which was covered in a lot of salt.
Spike!
Twilight yelled in anger and confusion. The footsteps of a very tiny and clearly half-asleep baby dragon could be heard approaching Twilight.
Twilight, you promised me I could sleep in today!
The baby dragon complained.
Spike!
The purple alicorn began in a not-so-patient tone.
Why is everything covered in salt?
The tired dragon looked around, now noticing the ungodly amount of salt on the floor, walls, and even ceiling somehow.
I'm too tired for this,
the dragon decided, clearly for the better, dragging himself back upstairs.
Spike!
The enraged princess yelled after him, but to no avail. Spike was too tired to care. Twilight looked back at the mess.
This will be a pain to clean up.
Elsewhere. And when I went downstairs, it was just covered in salt. Mea nodded, scribbling something furiously on a clipboard.
It just doesn't make sense. This is the 5th report we've gotten this week.
Mea stated.
And it's only Tuesday.
Well, Applejack started. I reckon we could figure this thing out soon enough. In the meantime, I gotta get some work done on the farm. Mea took a deep breath.
I sure hope we do.
This was stressful. Everything about it was. Mea hated catastrophes, but this was something else. Some creature had been invading Pony's home and have been filling them with salt. It was most troubling. How many creatures were working to do this? There was no way a single creature could be doing any of this, right? Right? Somewhere in a secret hideout. Anon is your average human stranded in Equestria, lost and probably is never getting home. But he had found a new obsession. Salt. NaCl. Sodium chloride. That's right, it is all about salt. Anon woke up, had breakfast, brushed his teeth, showered, got dressed, and got ready for the day. He exited his hideout by passing several security measures he had installed to make sure no meddling ponies got in. The entire place was in a cave, magic-proof, and in the Everfree Forest. He never knew why the locals were so afraid of it. None of the monsters ever paid Anon any mind. Walking out of the cave and onto the cliffside, Anon sat down on a lawn chair and admired the view of Ponyville. His revenge against the ponies was going splendidly. After they burned down his house and ran him out of the town, he's been filling everyone's houses with salt. The sheer confusion and terror filled him with glee. This was so much better than the cardboard box prank. Where does he get all of the salt, you ask? That's just his secret. You'll never know. But soon all of ponykind shall know salt. Anon had been spending months collecting all of the ancient magical artifacts from across the land. With their power, he will cover this world in salt. The perfect revenge. Anon was gleeful just thinking about it. He only needed one more. Although he would feel bad about doing it to Luna, his only real friend in this unfamiliar magic fantasy land. Anon sighed as he prepared for departure. Maya Mare. Maya Mare could barely be heard over the crowd that had shown up. It was as if nothing could save her from this.
Calm down, every pony!
She tried to reason.
The situation regarding the salt incident is being investigated. We have this under control.
Unfortunately for her, those words fall upon the deaf ears of the superstitious inhabitants of Ponyville as they frantically yelled over her and over each other, negating any progress. This was going nowhere. Maya Mare was going to have to do something drastic. She had to say something so stupid that only this town would take it as truth. She cleared her throat.
Every pony, we believe we have found what has been causing this outbreak of salt.
The crowd finally went silent. Maya Mare continued.
It is a punishment from the beyond. A punishment we have all received for kicking that poor human, Anonymous, out of our humble village for no reason other than superstition. I believe we must find him and bring him back to Ponyville to restore balance.
The crowd was still silent. At least until one pony yelled, "Or maybe he cursed us!" The crowd yelled in agreement with the pony, rounding up whatever makeshift weaponry they could, ready to hunt down this human. Unfortunately for them, it was too late. Anonymous had collected the final artifact. They could not stop the oncoming wrath of salt. Canterlot.
Dearest sister, could you tell me where Anonymous has vanished to? It seems he was simply erased from Ponyville and I am deeply concerned. Anonymous is a dear friend of mine, as you know.
Celestia stared in her sister's pleading eyes before sighing.
Lulu, you know how our little ponies are. They are scared of their own shadow and superstitious. Anon was most likely ran out of town, though you and I both know he is alive somewhere. Yes, I have seen his dreams, but the question is where?
In an instant, everything and everyone in the country of Equestria was covered entirely in salt. Anon only spared the Crystal Empire, Griffin Empire, Changing Colony, and other life forms that were nice to him in the first place.
Bah!
Luna spit salt out of her mouth.
Well, Celestia began, that answers what Anon was doing these last few days.